YouTubers, Steve Olin here. Got a DIY project for you today. Working on some PVC pipe that got cracked up from the freeze a week or so ago. That's connected to our water well outside, and I need to get it all patched up today. So let's go take a look. Hey guys, you see my puppies here? Yeah, they tore their pillows all up. Man, we got some water. I don't know if you can see this or how good you can see it. Probably hear it. But we had some freezes last week. I'm trying to figure out why this water wasn't drying up until my wife discovered that we actually had some busted pipes from our old well. The house is not on water from the well anymore. It just feeds our outside water that we use for the dogs and the chickens. So I didn't really notice it in the house, but you can see the entry to the old watershed, how soggy it got. Anyway, found a whole bunch of busted pipe in there, and so I'm working on patching up this PVC, and just figured I'd try to shoot a little DIY. Can't really, there's not very good light inside of this little watershed, but anyway, my plumbing comes off the pump over there, goes to that spigot there first, and then runs across this wall and out here into the ground, and then this line feeds another spigot at the back of the house and a spigot in the back by the chicken coop. So I started out and found a couple cracks and bought some fittings to fix that, and then I realized that there was a whole lot more trouble in here, so I'm ending up having to change all of this pipe out. So anyway, I'm working on replacing this PVC. I guess the lighting's not so bad in here after all. So I don't know if you're familiar with PVC or working it, but you know, it's plastic pipe, so it's pretty easy to handle. You can cut it. I was cutting it with a reciprocating saw, but you can cut it by hand with a hacksaw just like this. Use a little bit of sandpaper to clean up the ends of the pipe. And this purple stuff that's on the end of the pipe here is a primer that you put on there. Then you put the glue, whatever glue you use, and there's a couple different types of glue depending on the job you're doing. Rain or shine glue, so if you're messing with something that's kind of still wet or whatever, you can use that adhesive, and it still seals well. Anyway, repairing PVC is easier than you might think. Basically, you cut the plastic and you just get the right pieces you need to fit it back together. So you can see here somebody had a crack and they just pieced in a little patch right there. Same thing over on this side. So here's our water well pump. That pumps the water up and then feeds it to the filter. And then the filter feeds the water back to the water supply. And that shutoff valve right there is the farthest or away from the pump that I can actually test the lines under pressure. And all of this stuff back here is holding pressure and not leaking. So I cut that off as close to that shutoff valve as I can. And I'm just going to replace all the PVC from there out to where it goes in the ground again, and hopefully there's nothing that was buried in the ground that's got any leaks, but we'll see how it goes. So you can see right here I just made this cut on this piece that I ran in from outside where I've already made the patch. And you can see how it kind of burrs up on the edges when you cut it. It's even more drastic than this when you use the reciprocating saw. I did this with the hacksaw. This all has to be cleaned up, so just a little piece of sandpaper, knock all of that off and make sure it's smooth, and then it helps to go ahead and sand the end of the pipe right here where you're going to make the joint before you put the primer on it. Got the end of that cleaned up pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and prime that. This primer I got right here is kind of old, so it's a little bit thicker. It's usually a little more runny when it's brand new. I'm going to get that all the way around, and then I'm going to put primer inside of the elbow that I'm putting on there to make that joint as well. and then I'll go ahead and put adhesive on both sides and get this elbow on there where I want it. Some amount of this adhesive on there on the joints. I'll go ahead and place my elbow, and I always kind of twist them back and forth as I put them in, and help get that adhesive, and it'll hold in a matter of minutes. You can feel it when it starts set. Pretty straightforward. So I went ahead and cut this off. This is the nib that goes out to that spigot you saw on the outside wall, and these are all the patches that were in there from previous patchwork. I don't want to take any chances that there's another small crack somewhere. So I bought enough pipe and fittings to just change everything. I'm installing a shutoff right here on this other side of this T that goes out to my spigot. Hard to hold the camera and do plumbing at the same time. Anyway, this is going to allow me to shut off the water right here. My well will still be able to pump and supply water to this one spigot outside. If I have any problems anywhere else in this water supply system, I can shut this off and fix what I need to fix and still have water right here at this one spigot. So here we are at the end. I've changed quite a few fittings and changed a lot of pipe, but I'm right here at the last. So just a note, when you're gluing up pipe, make sure that you triple check your fit right here at the last section to make sure everything fits right, because once you start gluing stuff up, you can't take it apart. Just a quick note on pipe insulation. This is insulation right here. It's been laying here for a little while, so it's kind of dried out, but this is just a piece of foam insulation that's made for 3/4 inch pipe, and it has split long ways all the way down the tube, so you can open it up and wrap it around the pipe. These two little pieces of plastic pull off. There's a strip of adhesive in there that's tacky when it's new, and you can wrap it around the pipe and stick the seam back together. I didn't buy new insulation for these pipes. I'm going to go ahead and put the old insulation back on them. For now, I'll probably replace that, but I've already been to the hardware store 4 times today, so I'm not going to do that. This adhesive doesn't really hold up real great. Most people end up wrapping duct tape around it once they get it on there to hold it in place. So here's my job with the insulation back on it and it's all taped up. One of the things that was obvious on this pipe from the previous repair is that the insulation was only run on the straight of the pipe, and all the fittings were actually left exposed, and all of the cracks originated at the elbows and the shut-off valve and stuff. So this pipe insulation is pretty flexible, and there's no reason to not run it as much over the joints as you can. You can see here where I wrapped around that elbow. The same thing outside where it's exposed to the air. You will have to pinch the insulation down a little bit and wrap it tight to get it to be up against the pipe, right where the shoulder is of those joints, but there's no reason not to insulate the entire thing as much as possible. So we got this thing wrapped up. We're gonna test it out. Open this shut-off valve over here and let this pump run and see if we got any leaks. Patched all the way where it goes in the ground here. Got the pipes insulated all the way across. That's where it goes out to our spigot. Cut it all the way back to just on the side of this shut-off valve, because I was able to test this point under pressure. So once that valve opens, the pump should kick on, fill the pipe with water, and then be able to see if everything's holding pressure. So here we go. It's a moment of truth. There goes the pump. It stopped already, so that's That's a good sign. It means nothing's leaking. Good sign. So I'm gonna go outside and open the spigot for a second. Let the pipe empty out and the pump kick back on again, just to get another quick look at it. But it should be all good right here. Everything's under pressure. Pump's not coming on, so that's a good sign. No leaks. All right. Guess that's it for the DIY.